Football isn't just a sport in England, it's a way of life. Every weekend, millions of fans across the globe tune in to watch the drama of the Premier League unfold. From Manchester United's global brand to Manchester City's recent dominance, from the passionate Anfield nights to the electric atmosphere at Tottenham's new stadium, English football has never looked stronger. The numbers are staggering. The Premier League is broadcast in over 200 territories, reaching more than 600 million homes, with billions of viewers each season. No other league comes close to this level of global reach, competitive unpredictability, and financial strength. But the question is, how did it get here, and more importantly, can it last? In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the rise and resilience of English football. We'll look back at its turbulent past, when hooliganism, financial struggles, and bans from European competitions threatened to tear it apart. We'll explore how the formation of the Premier League in 1992 reshaped the game into a global powerhouse. We'll uncover the role of money, media, managers, and players in building today's spectacle. And we won't shy away from the challenges, rising costs, rival leagues, and the threat of unsustainable spending. By the end, we'll weigh the evidence to answer the central question: why is English football thriving, and can it last? Before you start, remember to like the video, subscribe, and activate the bell so you will not miss anything. To understand why English football thrives today, we first need to remember where it came from. The 1980s were among the darkest decades in the sport's history. Stadiums were outdated, often unsafe, and lacked modern facilities. Terraces were overcrowded, fences caged fans like animals, and poor policing contributed to tragedies such as the Bradford City fire in 1985 and the Hillsborough disaster in 1989, where 97 Liverpool supporters lost their lives. At the same time, English clubs were plagued by hooliganism, with violent clashes inside and outside stadiums tarnishing the nation's reputation. In 1985, following the Heysel Stadium disaster, UEFA banned all English clubs from European competitions for 5 years, a devastating blow to the prestige of the domestic game. The ban meant English football fell behind Europe in both tactical innovation and global branding. While Italy's Serie A and Spain's La Liga were attracting the world's best players, English football was viewed as chaotic, unsafe, and stuck in the past. Clubs struggled financially, attendances declined, and the sport faced an existential crisis. But the 1990s marked a dramatic turning point. In 1992, the Premier League was formed, breaking away from the Football League with the promise of modern management and lucrative television deals. Rupert Murdoch's Sky Sports injected unprecedented money into the game, bringing live broadcasts, professional marketing, and a new sense of spectacle. Stadiums were rebuilt and modernized, many converting to all-seater venues after the Taylor Report. Families and international fans began to return, transforming the atmosphere. Fast forward to today, and the contrast is staggering. Where once hooliganism and decay dominated headlines, now the Premier League is synonymous with glamour, global superstars, and unmatched entertainment. What was once a struggling national pastime is now the world's most powerful football league, setting the stage for the era of dominance we see today. If there's one factor that explains the rise of English football more than any other, it's money, specifically, the sheer financial muscle of the Premier League. From the very beginning in 1992, the league was designed to be a commercial powerhouse. Sky Sports' revolutionary TV deal transformed football into primetime entertainment, and since then, broadcasting rights have only skyrocketed. Today, the Premier League earns more than £10 billion from its domestic and international broadcasting contracts, with games shown in over 200 countries. Networks like Sky, BT Sport, Amazon Prime, and NBC in the United States compete fiercely for rights, ensuring a steady stream of cash flowing into clubs' coffers. This financial dominance is reinforced by sponsorship deals. Global brands ranging from Emirates and Etihad Airways to Nike and Adidas associate themselves with Premier League clubs to tap into the league's worldwide audience. Shirt sponsorships alone bring in hundreds of millions annually, while stadium naming rights, sleeve sponsors, and regional partnerships add even more. Even mid-table teams like Aston Villa or West Ham can secure international sponsors that rival what top clubs in other leagues can attract. With these vast revenues, Premier League clubs have been able to outspend their European rivals consistently. In recent transfer windows, English clubs have accounted for more than half of global transfer spending. Chelsea's £1 billion squad overhaul, Manchester City's investment in world-class players like Erling Haaland, and Liverpool's steady recruitment of elite talent are just a few examples. Beyond players, this money funds modern stadiums, cutting-edge training facilities, and advanced sports science departments that give English teams a competitive edge. When compared to Europe's other major leagues, the gap is striking. La Liga once boasted the duopoly of Barcelona and Real Madrid, but outside those two giants, clubs struggle financially, often forced to sell stars to stay afloat. Serie A, once the jewel of the footballing world, is still recovering from years of financial mismanagement and lacks the global commercial appeal it once had. The Bundesliga is admired for its fan culture and financial responsibility, but its strict ownership rules limit outside investment and prevent clubs from matching the spending power of England. The result? The Premier League has become the undisputed financial engine of world football. Even clubs battling relegation can outspend top sides in Portugal, the Netherlands, or even Italy. This economic strength not only attracts global superstars but also fuels the league's reputation as the most competitive and entertaining in the world. Money may open the doors, but talent is what keeps English football at the top. Over the past 2 decades, the Premier League has become the ultimate destination for the world's best players and managers. Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, some of the greatest tactical minds of modern football have chosen England as their stage. Their presence has elevated not just their clubs but the league as a whole, introducing cutting-edge systems like Guardiola's positional play, Klopp's heavy metal pressing, and even more pragmatic but effective styles brought by others. The tactical variety makes the league a fascinating laboratory of football ideas. For players, the Premier League represents both prestige and opportunity. Stars like Mohamed Salah, Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, and Virgil van Dijk could have gone anywhere, but they chose England. Why? Because the league offers not only lucrative contracts but also the chance to compete at the very highest level, week in and week out. Unlike in Spain or France, where dominance by a handful of clubs is the norm, even mid-table Premier League teams pose serious challenges. This relentless competitiveness sharpens players' skills and raises their profiles worldwide. But the league's strength is not only imported. English academies have undergone a quiet revolution since the early 2000s. The Elite Player Performance Plan (EPPP) invested heavily in youth coaching, facilities, and scouting. Today, academies like Manchester City's, Chelsea's Cobham, and Arsenal's Hale End are producing elite-level players who can compete with the best globally. The rise of Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, and Jude Bellingham is proof that England no longer relies solely on foreign imports. The nation itself is producing world-class talent. The combination of foreign brilliance and homegrown excellence has created a perfect storm. Managers benefit from diverse talent pools, players learn from different tactical cultures, and fans are treated to football of unparalleled quality. English football has become both the training ground and the showcase for the very best the sport has to offer. Beyond the money and the talent, English football thrives because of its stage and its audience, the stadiums and the fans. The transformation of infrastructure since the 1990s has been dramatic. The Taylor Report, following the Hillsborough disaster, mandated all-seater stadiums and safer designs, sparking a wave of redevelopment. Grounds that once symbolized decay became modern arenas. Manchester United's Old Trafford has grown into a 74,000-seat fortress. Liverpool's Anfield, famous for its atmosphere, has expanded with new stands while keeping its iconic soul intact. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur's state-of-the-art stadium, opened in 2019, is considered one of the most advanced sports venues in the world, equipped with retractable pitches, cutting-edge technology, and unmatched hospitality. This modernization has revolutionized the matchday experience. English stadiums combine tradition with comfort. Fans can enjoy modern facilities without losing the sense of history and community. Unlike in some European countries, where stadiums are often outdated or poorly maintained, the Premier League ensures that watching live football feels like a premium experience. From the accessibility of transport links to global-friendly broadcasting, the infrastructure supports both local and international supporters. But stadiums are only half the story, the other half is the fans. English football culture is unique, built on generations of passion. The chants, songs, and rivalries form the heartbeat of the game. From "You'll Never Walk Alone" echoing through Anfield to the raucous London derbies, the fan atmosphere adds intensity unmatched by most leagues. Even lower league clubs like Portsmouth or Leeds command fiercely loyal fan bases, proving that passion runs deep at every level. What makes it even more powerful is the global reach. Fans from Asia, Africa, and the Americas don't just watch on TV, they adopt clubs, learn the chants, and travel to England for pilgrimages to the grounds. The Premier League isn't just a domestic competition, it's a worldwide cultural phenomenon. And at its core, the stadiums and the supporters are what give English football its heartbeat. The Premier League isn't just England's game anymore, it's the world's league. With broadcasts reaching over 200 territories and an estimated 4.7 billion people having access to its matches, the league has established itself as the most watched domestic competition on the planet. But why does it resonate so strongly beyond British borders? The answer lies in a mix of spectacle, accessibility, and smart use of media. First, the product itself is irresistible. The pace, unpredictability, and sheer competitiveness of the Premier League make it a thrilling watch. Unlike in Spain, where Barcelona and Real Madrid have historically dominated, or in Germany, where Bayern Munich almost always wins, the Premier League feels uncertain. Leicester City's miracle title in 2016 captured imaginations worldwide because it showed that fairy tales are possible. This drama ensures neutral fans stay hooked. But the league's global appeal has been amplified by the rise of digital media. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter have transformed how fans engage. Every weekend, clips of goals, skill compilations, and behind-the-scenes moments circulate within seconds, reaching audiences far beyond the UK. A young fan in Nigeria or India doesn't need to watch a full 90 minutes, they can connect instantly through highlight packages and viral moments. The meme culture, reaction videos, and fan-created content help the league remain constantly visible in digital spaces. Streaming services have further widened access. While traditional TV networks like Sky and NBC remain important, platforms like Amazon Prime are redefining how football is consumed. Fans can now choose flexible subscriptions, on-demand viewing, and multi-angle coverage. This democratization of access ensures that Premier League content reaches households that might never have tuned in before. Global fan communities also play a vital role. Supporters clubs for Arsenal, Manchester United, or Liverpool exist in nearly every major city worldwide, creating shared experiences that transcend geography. Fans gather in pubs, sports bars, or even open-air screenings in Nairobi, Bangkok, or New York, turning matchdays into international events. For many, supporting a Premier League team has become part of their identity. The highlights culture has been crucial too. Younger audiences, raised on short-form content, engage with football differently. They may not always watch full matches, but they consume endless clips, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage. The Premier League has adapted brilliantly to this trend, ensuring its presence on every digital platform. In short, English football has mastered the art of global storytelling. By blending traditional broadcasting with digital-first strategies, it has cemented itself as not just a sports competition but a worldwide entertainment brand. One of the biggest reasons fans around the world are drawn to English football is the unpredictability of the Premier League. In many leagues, you can predict the champions before the season even starts. Bayern Munich has won the Bundesliga more than 10 times in a row. Paris Saint-Germain dominates League One thanks to its financial firepower. In Spain, La Liga often boils down to 2 or 3 contenders at most: Real Madrid, Barcelona, and occasionally Atletico. By contrast, the Premier League sells itself as the land of surprises, where on any given weekend, a top side can be humbled by a so-called underdog. The most famous example of this unpredictability came in 2016, when Leicester City achieved what many call the greatest sporting upset in modern history. Starting the season as 5-0-0-0 to 1 outsiders, Leicester defied all odds to win the title, defeating giants like Manchester City, Arsenal, and Tottenham along the way. Their triumph wasn't just a fairy tale, it was proof that in England, the gap between rich and poor, while significant, doesn't completely dictate results. That season showed that dreams are still alive in football, and it gave the Premier League an emotional selling point no other league could match. But even beyond Leicester, the weekly drama is unmatched. Relegation battles often involve half the league, making games at both ends of the table meaningful. A mid-table clash between Aston Villa and Brighton can produce as much intensity and entertainment as a derby between Manchester United and Liverpool. This competitive balance is fueled by the league's financial model, where TV money is distributed more evenly than in Spain or Italy, allowing smaller clubs to sign quality players. The result is a product where fans tune in not just for the title race but for the thrill of uncertainty. Whether it's Everton upsetting Arsenal, Brentford stunning Manchester City, or newly promoted clubs fighting tooth and nail, the drama never stops. And in the modern sports entertainment era, drama is as valuable as trophies. For all its glitz and glamour, English football is not immune to danger. Behind the spectacle lies a system under increasing strain, raising the question, can the Premier League's success truly last? One of the biggest concerns is the league's over-reliance on television revenue. The billions generated from broadcasting rights have made English clubs incredibly wealthy, but they've also created a dependency. If broadcasters ever cut back, whether due to falling subscriptions, economic downturns, or a shift in viewing habits, the financial foundation of the league could wobble. Unlike in some other industries, football clubs often spend as quickly as they earn, leaving them vulnerable if income suddenly declines. Another looming challenge is the inflation of transfer fees and wages. Just 2 decades ago, a £30 million signing was headline news. Today, that figure barely raises eyebrows. Premier League clubs now spend hundreds of millions each summer, driving up the global market. Players demand astronomical wages, and agents push deals into the stratosphere. While this arms race attracts elite talent, it also creates long-term risks. Clubs may struggle to balance books, especially if they miss out on European competition or suffer relegation. The financial pressure can be devastating, as seen in the cases of Leeds United in the early 2000s, or more recently, Derby County's near collapse. External competition is also growing. The Saudi Pro League has emerged as a surprising threat, offering superstars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, and Karim Benzema salaries that dwarf what even Premier League clubs can pay. While England still has the prestige and competitiveness players crave, the lure of Saudi riches could reshape the market. Meanwhile, the lingering specter of a European Super League, an idea that briefly erupted in 2021, remains a possibility. If such a breakaway were revived with stronger financial backing, it could fracture the Premier League's dominance. Then there are regulatory pressures. UEFA's Financial Fair Play (FFP) rules, designed to stop reckless overspending, are tightening. Domestically, the Premier League is investigating clubs like Manchester City and Everton for alleged financial breaches. These probes highlight a core problem: many clubs gamble heavily to stay competitive. Chelsea's recent billion-pound spending spree is a prime example, raising questions about sustainability and whether financial rules will eventually catch up with them. Everton, too, have skirted the line, risking points deductions and financial penalties. Beyond money, there's the issue of fan alienation. Ticket prices remain among the highest in Europe, and while stadiums are full now, there's a risk of pricing out local supporters. If the league prioritizes global audiences over its core fan base, it could damage the very culture that makes English football unique. In short, the Premier League's empire rests on fragile pillars. Sky-high spending, reliance on TV deals, and competition from abroad create a volatile ecosystem. Unless carefully managed, the very factors that made English football the envy of the world could also become its undoing. Looking ahead, the big question is whether English football can maintain its position as the undisputed leader of the global game. The Premier League has built an empire, but empires are rarely permanent. Over the next 2 decades, new forces, both domestic and international, will test the league's resilience. One area of competition comes from abroad. The Saudi Pro League has already made waves by attracting global stars with staggering salaries. While the Premier League still offers prestige and fierce competition, the sheer financial firepower of Saudi clubs could eventually lure away more top talent. Similarly, the MLS in the United States is growing steadily. With the 2026 World Cup set to be hosted across the US, Canada, and Mexico, interest in football in North America is expected to surge. If the MLS capitalizes on this moment, it could transform into a serious competitor for global attention. Meanwhile, Asian markets, especially in China, Japan, and India, remain largely untapped. With their massive populations and growing appetite for football, They represent both an opportunity and a potential rival if domestic leagues manage to professionalize and globalize. Technology will also play a decisive role in shaping the future. Tools like VAR, Video Assistant Referee, are already changing how the game is officiated, though not without controversy. The next wave could involve AI-driven analytics, helping teams make smarter recruitment decisions, optimize tactics, and even predict player injuries. Off the pitch, streaming services are likely to take over more broadcasting rights, allowing fans to watch games on demand, from multiple angles, and with interactive features. The Premier League's ability to stay ahead of these technological shifts will determine whether it continues to dominate global viewing habits. Over the next 10 to 20 years, the league's global dominance seems secure, but not guaranteed. English football's strong infrastructure, passionate fan base, and commercial savvy give it an edge. Yet, complacency could be dangerous. If transfer inflation spirals further, or if fans feel priced out, cracks may appear. Equally, if rival leagues align better with modern digital consumption, they may chip away at England's supremacy. The most likely scenario? The Premier League will remain at the top, but the gap may narrow. Instead of being the lone superpower, it could share the stage with a resurgent MLS, an ambitious Saudi league, or even revitalized competitions in Europe. The next 2 decades will determine whether English football's reign is a golden era or just a passing peak. English football's rise to global dominance is the result of a perfect storm: massive financial investment, world-class talent, innovative coaching, passionate fan culture, and unmatched media exposure. The Premier League has transformed from a struggling domestic competition into the world's most watched and commercially powerful league. Clubs have invested heavily in infrastructure, stadiums, and academies, producing both international superstars and homegrown talent like Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, and Jude Bellingham. Tactical innovation, competitive balance, and dramatic matches keep fans glued to screens across every continent. Digital media, streaming services, and global fan communities have amplified this reach, making English football not just a sport, but a worldwide phenomenon. Yet, despite all these successes, questions remain. Over-reliance on TV revenue, escalating transfer fees and wages, rising competition from foreign leagues, and the looming threat of financial mismanagement pose real risks. Can this golden era last? Will the Premier League maintain its competitive edge, or will external pressures and internal strains gradually erode its supremacy? The story is far from over. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think English football can continue to thrive in the face of growing global competition? Could another league eventually challenge its dominance, or will the Premier League remain the ultimate benchmark of elite football? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love seeing your opinions. If you enjoyed this deep dive into why English football is thriving and the challenges it faces, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow football fans, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest football analysis, transfers, and global trends. Together, let's explore the thrilling world of football and uncover the stories behind the game we all love.